So I've been thinking about getting myself an action camera to do my videos with, and I wanted to get a budget one because, well, I didn't want to spend too much money just yet. So what I found was this SJCAM SJ4000 Air at Camera LK. I bought it from their Majestic City store for 25,500 rupees, and it seems pretty decent to start with in terms of specs. I mean, it's got up to 4K interpolated, it does 1080p, which is what I shoot my videos in anyway, so that fulfills my needs, at up to 60 fps. That's nice. Takes a micro SD card. For that I got this SanDisk 32GB micro SD card to pair with it. So without further ado, let's get into unboxing it and see what the SJCAM SJ4000 Air is all about. Right, so let's get to unboxing. First things first, it's wrapped in shrink wrap plastic, which I'm just gonna tear off with my fingers like that because, well, I'm not gonna need it again. Okay, the entire box is wrapped in that stuff. Righto, get that out of the way. There we are. SJ4000 Air action camera, 4K 30 fps interpolated. So that means we can glean it's not native 4K. Doesn't really matter for me because, like I said, I'm going to be using this thing at 1080p. Let's see, how do we get into it? From here, I suppose. Is it a slide out? Not immediately apparent what kind of box this is. Is it a slide out? Not having much success with getting it out. Oh, it is a very tight slide out. Okay, there we are, and then like that. Okay, get that out of the way. So we've got, first things first, you've got the camera here, 4K Wi-Fi. You've got button there, the camera is installed in its case. You've got a thing to open the case there. You've got another button there. There's the screen on the back. Okay, you've got a mount there as well. So it's installed in its case. Okay, let's see how to open this. Or maybe I should check the manual first. I don't want to break it. So let's keep the camera to one side there. Let's see what else we get in the box. Okay, right. So we have got, okay, that's a mount, another mount, another mount, another mount, and another mount. We've also got some SJCAM Empower Your Dreams stickers, which I'm not really going to be using. Into the box those go. And we've got the cable, which is a, yep, that's a micro USB cable, which means that this is using the older micro USB standard, not the type C standard. That's okay. I've still got plenty of micro USB cables and chargers around, so not a big deal. So yeah, that's what you get in the pack. The camera itself, if we look on the side, we can see the micro USB port is right there, and there seems to be a film, protective film on the display. I must get the camera out of this case and then have a look at that. All the buttons are accessible via the case through these chunky buttons here. There also appears to be a film on the lens on the inside. I need to take that out too. So that's the unboxing. Next will be the performance review. Before I do the performance review, however, I did figure out how to open this thing up. So let's do that right now. Flick that to the side, flick that up like that, and well, the camera should come out. Yep, it's quite a tight fit in there, but it's coming out. So that's the case, and here's the camera. 4K Wi-Fi SJCAM. Let's do something which I always do on anything new I buy, and that is take off all the pesky plastic. Yeah, you can probably play a song of your choice in your head while I'm unpeeling it like this. Some people seem to like that. Okay, so here we are, the camera. You can see you've got some buttons there. I will be checking the manual to see what they do. Bottom is the battery compartment. See, does it power on? Nope, it does not. Okay, so I've been trying to put it on and I realized that the battery appears to be as dead as a dodo. So what I'm going to do is, let's plug in the charger and see what happens. Okay, we've got some light there, blinking red. It's a good sign, I suppose. Let's see if pressing the power button will do anything while it's on the charger. Nope, doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I guess I'm going to have to leave it on the charger and see what happens there. You don't usually expect to get something that's dead as a doornail out of the box. So well, I guess I'll charge it and then let's come back to it. Right, we've got some luck with turning it on now. Let me show you. Press the power button for 3 to 5 seconds. You can see it lights up there. Little jingle to say it's starting up. So now it's in video mode. There is no card inserted because I have not inserted a card. However, it is appearing to record on its internal memory. Let's see what pressing the OK button. Okay, no detectable TF card. Okay, if I press the power button, that cycles between its modes. So we've got still photo mode, playback mode, and we've got the settings here. Let's have a look at the settings, shall we? We've also got these two keys on the side for navigating up and down things. Okay, so we've got video resolution, recording sound, time lapse, loop, video bitrate. That's fine. Yeah, what does that say? Video bitrate very good. Okay, now how do I scroll to the side of all this stuff? Doesn't appear to be a way to do that. Oh, there we go. Photo resolution, okay, exposure, language, date and format, reset factory settings. Press OK to exit. So yeah, I mean, controlling it seems to be pretty straightforward, if a little convoluted, because there's only 4 buttons to use for controlling it. So here's the first piece of footage shot with the SJ4000 Air. It's mounted on a selfie stick. I'm taking it around my balcony during the daytime in bright sunshine, and you can see that the color reproduction is fairly okay. Colors are slightly muted, I'd say. There is a bit of a fisheye lens effect typical of an action camera, which gives it that sort of, you know, informal footage kind of vibe which one tends to go for with action cameras. I shall also take it close to a plant with flowers and let's see how it handles close-ups, because let's remember that this camera is fixed focus. It does not have any form of autofocus on board. Next up is when I just strapped the camera to a head mount, wore it on my head and went for a walk in my garden. As you can see, the lack of stabilization on this camera is quite apparent, as well as the fisheye effect is amplified, and I feel I should have upped the frame rate to 60 fps rather than 30 fps, because it does have a slightly jarring effect as I move my head from side to side. Lesson learned. Right. Now this clip was taken during the daytime when it was raining. It wasn't raining very heavily, but there is some moderate rainfall, and I just wanted to see how the camera would cope with it. Of course, it's in a waterproof casing, so I wasn't too worried about it getting damaged. So this was just to see how it will cope with it, and the answer is pretty well, because I did operate the buttons to start and stop it in the rain. Next up is a bit of a fun thing I did, and that is to mount one of the mounts on my son's push car. This is a push car. There is no electric motor in it, which means that as it moves along, it's doing so because I am pushing it. I aim to leave the mount permanently fitted there so that I can mount the camera at a later date when my son is actually pushing his car along, and see how things are from sort of his perspective. Who knows, we might get some funny home video from this. Okay, here I'm using the action camera to see how it performs at night with spotty additional lighting. It doesn't have its own lighting sources, and it's performing the way I'd expect it to perform at this price point. You can't really expect miracles from something that costs this little and doesn't have any night vision capabilities or any enhancement of any sort on board. So I'm pretty satisfied with the way it's performing under night conditions. Have you wondered what fish look like when they are being fed? This clip should answer your question, as I just took the camera and placed it at least partially submerged in my fishbowl and then fed the fish. As you can see, the camera copes with this kind of dunking extremely well. There was no water whatsoever inside the casing when I opened it up later on to get the video clips off the camera. Now let's see a quick drive-by of a model train with the camera kept stationary on my layout. Here I've changed the angle slightly to show two trains passing each other. Now this clip was really fun to shoot because I just took the camera, balanced it on a weighted open car behind the locomotive and sent it around my layout. So you are getting literally a train's eye view here. You can see how it is as the two trains pass each other. You can also see the camera's lack of stabilization demonstrated once again, as my track work isn't perfect. And well, I think it looks pretty cool to see a model train from this perspective. So we've seen some footage from the SJCAM SJ4000 Air. All the footage you saw in my video review from the camera was unedited. I didn't do any color correction, I didn't try any stabilization. There was nothing done to it, so you can see what the true output of this camera is like. And I've got to say, for the price you pay for it, 25,500 Sri Lankan rupees, it's perfectly in line. This is not going to compete with a GoPro, which comes in at 6-figure sums in terms of Sri Lankan rupees. So it doesn't have to be near that quality either. For what you pay for it, it's perfectly adequate. I mean, I'm not going to be shooting my videos in 4K either, so I prefer the 1080p proper output of this, because the 4K is actually interpolated, it's not native 4K. So 1080p in 60 fps or 30 fps is what this can do natively, which is perfectly fine for my purpose. I should also note that for some of the videos I shot, I used an aftermarket mount set that I got from this place called Fine Vision Camera in Kandy for just under 6,000 rupees. It was a set of 30 mounts plus accessories. They delivered it to my doorstep for no additional charge in Colombo, which was pretty nice. And well, I'm pretty pleased with those mounts too. I will be doing a separate review on that. So there you are, the SJCAM SJ4000 Air. Fully worth it for what you pay. You just got to temper your expectations and remember that this is not a GoPro. If you just look at it for what it is and expect a reasonable output from it, you're going to be very pleased, as I am. So stay tuned to my channel, because I've got a lot more great reviews coming up. Be sure to hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, because there's quite a bit of stuff coming up. One little teaser for the future I can give you is, I'm going to be reviewing a Nikon camera from over 10 years ago, 13 years ago to be exact, which is the first camera that I bought. Stay tuned for all that, and thanks for watching my videos.